The police will never change in America. My experience in Police Academy. Throwaway for obvious reasons. If you feel if I'm just bitter due to my dismissal, please call me out on it, as I need a wake-up call. Over the fall semester I was a police recruit at a community college's police academy in a Midwestern liberal city. I have always wanted to be a police officer, and I felt like I could help kickstart a change of new wave cops. I am passionate about community-oriented policing, making connections with the youth in policing, and changing lives on an individual level. I knew Police Academy would be mentally and physically challenging. But boy oh boy does policing need to change. Instructors taught us to view citizens as enemy combatants, and told us we needed a warrior mindset and that we were going into battle every day. It felt like I was joining a cult. Instructors told us supporting our fellow police officers were more important than serving citizens. Instructors told us that we were joining a big bad gang of police officers and that protecting the thin blue line was sacred. Instructors told us George Floyd wasn't a problem and was just one bad officer. I tried to push back on some of these ideas and posed to an instructor that 4 other officers watched Chauvin pin Floyd to the ground and did nothing. And perhaps they did nothing because they were trained in academy to never speak. Aga isn't a senior officer. I was told to shut my fucking face, and that I had no idea what I was talking about. Sadly, instructors on several occasions, and most shockingly in the first week, asked every person who supported Black Lives Matter to raise their hands. I and about a third of the class did. They told us that we should seriously consider not being police officers if we supported anti-cop organizations. They told us BLM was a terrible organization and to get out if we supported them. Instructors repeatedly made anti-LGBT comments and transphobic comments. Admittedly, I was the most progressive and put a target on my back for challenging instructor viewpoints. This got me disciplined, yelled at, and made me not want to be a cop. We had very little training on de-escalation and community policing. We had no diversity or ethics training. Despite all this, I made it to the final day. I thought if I could just get through this, I could get hired and make a difference in the community as a cop and not be subject to academy paramilitary crap. The police academy dismissed me on the final day because I failed a PT test that I had passed multiple times easily in the academy leading up to this day. I asked why I failed and they said my push-up form was bad and they were being more strict. No, it was the final. I responded saying if you counted my push-ups in the entrance and midterm tests, then they should count now. I was dismissed on the final day of Police Academy and have to take a whole academy over again. I have no plan to retake the whole academy, and I feel like quality police officers are dismissed because they don't fit the instructor's cookie-cutter image of a warrior police officer, and the instructors can get rid of them with saying their form doesn't count on a subjective sit-up or push-up test. I was beyond tears and bitterly disappointed. Maybe policing is just that fucked in America. Funny. This reads almost verbatim to an It Could Happen Here episode. Except the guy had 15 years in as a cop. Starts around 2 hours and 47 minutes in. It's a compilation of a few episodes, so apologies. Edit. If your academy experience was like that, you are lucky to have gotten out before committing years to it. https open.spotify.com/episode/1 unlim 19 kwb3 eadmsfh c equals imsas h40 smu bfb2 rmxafca and utm source equals copy link. It was a priceless education. I spent 5 years as a professional firefighter, EMT, before walking out of the station one night. That's a whole different story. What I witnessed police do at scenes, vehicle accidents, fires, etc., will forever be pierced in my mind. One example. July 5, 2011, not long after midnight. Rescue, medical call comes in. Ford Explorer in the ditch after going through a fence. 2 drunk people in Explorer and no other vehicles involved. We arrive in the fire engine. Ambulance is already there. We extricated the driver. He was so drunk he didn't feel his femur was broken. Pretty serious medical emergency. We get him strapped in the back of the ambulance and we are done. Get back in the truck. From the truck I see a state trooper walk up to the back of the ambulance and open the back doors. He proceeded to grab the guy's foot and spin it like the hand on a clock. The paramedic in the back sat there stunned. My fire captain looked at our driver and said, "We are done here. Let's go." As we pulled away, 2 sheriff's deputies had joined in the fun. I don't know what happened to the guy. Might be fine. Might have lost his leg because of them fucking it up more. It was joke to them and he wasn't a human to them, and I will never forget that, and I will never trust them. Or anyone else for that matter. Thanks for sharing your experience. I can only speak for myself. But being able to get an inside view of the culture of US policing is always appreciated. And also very depressing. Policing is that fucked in America. As long as policing is taught from a paramilitary approach and not one of college academics, we will never see positive change. Are you able to appeal this decision? It was clearly unfair and biased. Why is seemingly everything in the US so hyper-militarized, aggressive, violent, and void of respect? To anyone who says that there are only a few bad apples in policing, please remember the entire saying is, "A few bad apples spoil the batch." This entire batch has been spoiled and we need to start fresh. Police are the largest and worst gang in America. NYPD, LAPD and New Orleans PD are the worst. Get rid of qualified immunity. Make body cams mandatory all the time and make cops have insurance. When they do something grossly negligent, fine them punitive damages that insurance doesn't cover, and goes against them financially and their pensions and house. You are absolutely in the right. They failed you because you didn't fit their tyrannical mold. Fuck that academy. I know you're not a journalist, but I wish all of this was recorded. You were dismissed for not being a part of fascism. Never forget that. Relevant. Some more news episode. First of all, I am sorry you had to experience that. I am not a cop. I am a soldier. But not even my training was like that. Now my battles are different from theirs. But no one should train like you're a gang member. They kicked you out. You didn't fail. It's a system of being a bro and taking one for the team, it seems. You are a bro. A real bro. Not a fake one like those who shut their mouths and passed. Not your fault. PT test failures, especially push-ups, are an easy out to drop someone they don't think deserves it. I know this because the Army does this with schools. Think airborne, air assault, ranger, and skill badges. Instructors weed people out when they don't have the look or attitude for it. It's utter bullshit. And it's very real. Source: former Army sergeant. It's very telling the police always frame criticism as anti-law enforcement. No. They weeded you out. BC, they saw you being a problem for them. This is why we have no good cops. I'd rather have someone who thinks like you, open and questioning of status quo, running the police than any other cop I've ever interacted with. I'd almost want you to go back to academy wired up with a body cam and expose that shit. A video from that dang dad, a former cop, that discusses a lot of stuff in a chill voice. This particular video is about how cops are taught to dehumanize. Thought you hearing another voice say some of what I read here might help you as you process from wanting to be and being kept from being a cop. He has all sorts of vids. Why are police trained by their future employers? That's not how it works for other professions. Tumor go to accounting school, or welding school, or teaching school. Then you find an employer. Having police departments train the next generation is how you get shitty police culture and perpetuate racism. That's awful the way America is going. I'm not surprised, sadly. We're about 5 to 10 years away from the far right taking over, and of course they want their thugs to be well groomed. Being kicked out of police academy should be a point of pride for you. Fuck dem pigs. Sounds like your local pig farm got trained by retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman and his company, Killology. He travels North America teaching police how to kill without remorse. The police is basically a state-sponsored fascist militia. They'll pretend to be police until it's time for the takeover. This is true for most countries.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.